Hey everyone, and welcome to another GTA Online Tier 4 challenge guide for the career progress. In this one, I will be showing you how to complete the Superyacht Tier 4 objectives in each mission entirely solo, so let's get right into it. For the first mission, All Hands, you need to go and steal a Tula at the airport, but the Tula is guarded by lots of enemies, so what I did was call in the lovely monstrosity and just chucked sticky bombs with my back facing them. The only part of your body they can shoot will be your hand, but they aren't programmed to aim there, so they'll just shoot the back of the vehicle for the most part. And if you're wondering why I'm not using the tank, it's because you can't call in the tank on these missions. You will get cops on you from taking the enemies out, but you can lose them really quickly just by flying away in the Tula, and you shouldn't take any damage on takeoff if you're quick about it. When you're going to water bomb the vehicles, all you have to make sure is that you're high enough to where the enemies can't hit you. You could probably get a little bit lower than even I was during this mission and still be safe, but I was just doing it to be completely safe. I didn't want to get shot at all. And depending on how good you are at bombing in this game, that will determine how long this is going to take you. There are 2 separate lots that you have to put out, and that's really all there is for this mission. You just got to make it back to the yacht for the mission completion after all the cars are put out. For salvage, this is probably one of the harder ones, if not the hardest one for not taking damage. Definitely make sure you have a scuba suit saved as one of your outfits so you can swap to it before going in the water to get the crates. When you are returned to the yacht after grabbing the cargo, don't just go straight at it. Wait until you see the red enemies appear and then quickly turn towards the shore and head there. And once you're there, you can start picking people off that are on the yacht. And for the boats, just do what I do. Aim in with the sniper, quickly swap to the homing launcher and fire away. After the enemies on the yacht are taken care of, run higher up on the hill behind you to give yourself a line of sight on the enemies next to the captain, and do the same thing. Start taking them out one by one. Again, if you are worried about missing shots for the accuracy, just zoom in on an area you want to hit with a rocket, switch to the homing launcher, and shoot it with no risk to your accuracy. When you move up closer, there will be a lot of enemies to take out, so just be careful and take cover behind the rocks instead of just rushing up to them. Don't try to speedrun it. The rocket I'm using here provides some good lines of sight and cover at the same time. If you have to take a shot with a bullet weapon, make sure you don't miss and that it's either a headshot or that you're using a powerful weapon like the hollow point revolver that you should one-shot them with. I do prefer using the homing rocket and grenade launcher for this situation though, just firing all the grenades over cover and hoping to hit them, but some enemies are in tricky spots. Just slowly move up when you are comfortable staying close to the rocks for cover in case there's an enemy you missed, and once you take out all the enemies, you can safely retrieve the captain and bartender and head back to the yacht, no problem. The third mission, Overboard, you will first be tasked with taking out joyriders in the Vespucci canals, and what I did was land my helicopter on the roof with a very clear line of sight to the targets, and I just sniped both of them with the heavy sniper. It's not too difficult of a shot because they're both going extremely slow. After that, get back in the helicopter and retrieve the paperwork that is now soaked from being in the water, and 2 more joyriders will spawn in. You can either call in the Savage now or after this part. In the gameplay, I just used the monstrosity backup sticky bomb strat to take both of the joyriders out here, but if you grab the Savage now, it will prepare you for the last part, and you can use the missiles to take out the joyriders. It's up to you, but either way, you want a Savage. Because for the last part of this mission, you have to destroy all these boats, and it's very important that you do not use the cannons on the Savage here. You have to use the missiles or else the accuracy challenge will fail. And just be careful of the police helicopter that can damage you if it sits too close to you for too long, but overall, it's really not too difficult. After destroying the boats, you just gotta lose the cops. That's pretty easy. Even if your helicopter might be shot up a ton. For the Icebreaker mission, we will once again be getting in the Savage helicopter from Pegasus and using it to spam missiles like there's no tomorrow, both killing all of the enemies in the area, or most of them, as well as the air conditioning units. Ideally, you want to do this from afar so you don't risk getting shot to prolong the life of not only yourself but the helicopter, but also be careful not to shoot the enemies that are close to the Benson truck inside. It's probably going to take you a few passes to clear out almost all the enemies and AC units, but it's going to be worth it to do this part with hardly any damage. Also, helicopters will come after you periodically. Prioritize those as soon as they spawn in because they will mess you up. And again, missiles, no cannons for the accuracy challenge. Once most of the enemies are taken out, I landed my helicopter a ways away and tried to call in a vehicle, but for some reason it didn't give it to me and just went right to the cooldown, so I was left there with nothing. So I had to improvise a bit and take the enemies out on foot that were rushing me and run over to the truck myself. And at the truck area, there were a few more enemies on the ground that I had to be careful using explosives around to not destroy the objective. I took a little bit of damage, but it's fine. In the Benson truck, enemies will spawn in to chase you down. If they spawn in front of you, try not to drive directly at them head on and instead take a detour. You really don't want to give them any line of sight on you in the cab, especially if you don't have that much more damage to spare for the challenge. But upon a safe arrival, the mission is complete and you should have all the challenges done for that one. D-Day you might think would be one of the hardest ones, but it actually ends up being the easiest one here. Just play the mission as usual until you get in the vicinity of the yacht. Do not board it. Instead, go a little ways out while still being in the yellow circle so you don't get blown up. Get out of the sub and shoot a missile at the helicopter at the edge of it. This should instantly kill the target on the yacht after a few seconds, to where all you have to do is escape without ever even having to board the yacht. Not sure if this is a bug, but it definitely makes this challenge a whole lot easier, I'll tell you that. And that brings us to the final mission in the strand, Bon Voyage. Now, when you think about this mission, you think, holy shit, there are a lot of enemies on this one. How am I possibly going to do this without taking hardly any damage? Well, you want to spend most of your time around the captain's quarters so you have cover from the helicopters on all sides. And how you want to prioritize the enemies are helicopters first, boats second, and other enemies third, because the enemies that are on the yacht itself don't really rush up to you that often. For the helicopters, use the homing launcher and free aim it. The homing launcher travels faster than RPG rockets, which will make it easier to predict your shots. The first helicopter should hover right above you to make it a bit easier for you to hit it, and the second one will hover a little bit on the outside to where you can lob a grenade over the yacht to blow it up. For the enemy boats, take cover on the outside railings and chuck sticky bombs at them. You could also shoot homing rockets at them here, but sometimes the angle can get you killed by your own missile if you fire too low. It's happened to me a few times. Once the first batch of helicopters and boats are down, you can safely go out and start chucking sticky bombs at the back of the yacht. This should kill a good majority of them when you're blowing up the vehicles too. Just keep an eye on your minimap though. If more helicopters spawn in, you simply retreat to the central area, shoot it down, and proceed as usual. Also, if you happen to pick up the armor in this area on accident, it does not void the challenge, so you can keep on going. Don't worry about that. This is where it gets kind of tricky. This tarp you can be shot through, but you can also lock on and shoot the enemies through it yourself. I would recommend using something like the revolver, which does a lot of damage. If you try to line up headshots, that can also work, but you don't see the enemies, so you have to basically predict where their head is if you want to instantly kill them. Avoid firing the weapons in full auto mode so you don't miss shots here. For the enemies right underneath you, you can throw stickies down the stairs and the blast radius should kill them, but sometimes they can be in kind of awkward spots that it will take some time to take out. You will eventually have to go down a level to take out the enemies on each side. To kill enemies that are at the back of the yacht, you can go up to these boxes and either throw sticky bombs or shoot grenades over them until you kill all of them. What you basically want to do is thin out all the enemies as much as possible to where you only have to face a couple at a time head on. Or if you manage to take out everyone without ever having to face them head on, that's the best case scenario. And for the last wave, when the lights come back on, the enemies will try to rush up. So I just shot some grenades and tried to roll them down the stairs, which worked out pretty well. And after all is said and done, that should award you with the Tier 4 objective for the Superyacht missions. If you guys enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I want to give a huge shout out to my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.